people need to read more, but read faster. Okay, and I was able to do what is called a speed reading course. Okay, so you're able to read because a lot of documentary.
A lot of data.
You also have to take what is called a memory course. Okay, and you just read. Okay, so we read almost everything about this subject, and within the first couple of just a few years, maybe 7, 8 years now, we're in this business, but almost all of the many of the countries, have reached out to us because of the study. The UNODC, the UN Department of Drugs and Crime, they're most of the government of Australia, the Dutch Antilles, the French Antilles, because of the study that we have done. Because no one has ever conducted this study in the history of the Caribbean before. This is the first, this is the landmark study. Okay, and the information we were able to get, no one knew about it, because people had different perception of human trafficking. Okay, and you have to sort of realize that it's not a get rich quick. Okay, you have to put in the time. You have to make lots of sacrifices. I mean, now we're here in Canada. It's 9:30. Okay, so just concentrate. Get involved in a good speed reading course, a good memory course, and just study this subject, because it's a new subject, and very soon you will be good at it. And people are all willing to call me if we have many of the PhD students who also refer to us, many of the master students in the various universities, and we're here to provide assistance.
Okay. Well, I expect that you definitely will be back on Gen FM. Ms. Hegley, any final words from you as we come down to 10:30 Grenada time and St. Vincent time?
For me, I would just say I certainly have learned a lot. It's been very useful for this information to be shared and to be transmitted in such a way. And I'm really grateful, particularly because 6 years of going back and forth to Trinidad and being told it's not happening. I wanted to have had this platform to be able to share it so that people can see that there's someone else who concurs and says this is happening. Because like somebody commented in my Searchlight article, how can we say it's not happening in the Grenadines? Why not this nation? It's happening everywhere else but here. It's happening in the US, the UK, but not here. And I really want to encourage people to open their eyes and to actually accept the reality of what is going on. And by accepting the reality, taking those steps to be able to protect and safeguard those who are vulnerable, particularly the young girls, as we heard about those who have lighter skin and longer hair. We had this young girl, Andrea Barrett. She was kidnapped, it seems, and we just heard yesterday that she is now deceased. This is a major issue, and we know in every country it's existing, but we as individuals, we have to do whatever we can to protect the people around us and protect ourselves. And that requires us to read, as we've just been told, read and study. Maybe you don't want to be reading pages and pages and pages because that isn't for you, but having the knowledge, having a fair understanding of this issue and how it relates to where you are. And of course, I really want people to reach out to me to get a copy of my book, Can You Keep a Secret? My book is a very easy read. I read it from my personal experience of traveling thus far to 38 countries in my life, learning about this, talking to the prostitutes, talking to pimps. In fact, in the Philippines, I met a pimp in one of the islands in Davao, in fact, where the Prime Minister is based. And she was like 63 years of age. And so speaking to her and meeting her was very eye-opening. I believe she had left the sex industry and then she had gone on to become a pimp. But at the end of the day, we may not consider a 63-year-old could be a pimp, but that is indeed the reality. And so it's not about creating paranoia, but it's letting people understand, truthfully, you can't trust anyone. And as we heard today, the fact is these pimps and traffickers are everyday people. The perpetrators of sexual abuse, those who are purchasing, whether that's through sex tourism or otherwise, often are pillars of the community and married. And like I said, the book is there for people to buy. By buying it, they'll be educated, empowered, inspired. They can make a difference in the lives of those girls who are victims, boys who are victims in the Philippines, and these Indonesian men who are being labor trafficked. And then, of course, I must give my information for those who were tuned in. My Facebook is Changing Cases. My website, changingcases.org, changing, CASES.org. And then my number, +1 784 454 1693. That's +1 784 454 1693. Facebook, Changing Cases, changing, CASES. Website, changingcases.org, for a copy of my book. To invite me to speak, I speak by Zoom, in person with social distancing. I'm not charging for what I do because this is my life's ministry, but I am available so people can reach out to me to be better educated on this truly, truly important topic. Again, +1 784 454 1693, +1 784 454 1693, and the book is called Can You Secret, with 70 PC, $25 US.
Okay then. Well,
seeing as you've now connected with Dr. Pierre, and that you're on the ground in St. Vincent, and you already have an in with some of the media entities there, the radio stations and so, probably you can collaborate with him so that you can bring a program to the radio station so that those who are in denial as to what you have been saying, he can corroborate what you have been saying based on the research that he has done, already done on the ground, right? So that information can
I could also say that, as I said, if anyone wants to contact me,
yeah, that's why I was going to turn to you now for your final words.
So my name is Justine Pierre. You can my email is C as in my name, C, Justine, Justine, Pierre, Pierre @gmail.com. So C Justine Pierre @gmail.com, and my phone number is 647-966-4783. I'm available on WhatsApp. So 647-966-4783. And we have a website called, our company, it's Don Pierre Barnett and Company Canada Limited, Don Pierre Barnett and Company Limited. And we also have a non-profit organization called CANCARO, CANCARO. So we do a lot of work in the industry, and as I said, we are, it's a body of knowledge that is gaining, picking up tremendous momentum, and we need all the foot soldiers. So Mrs. Edley, you're free to contact me. We have done, we can do something together. And Mr. Paul and Mr. Baptiste, it's been a pleasure. I think I know you from Mr. Peanut Close, is it? Is it Delbert? I think I know you from Delbert Close, Mr. Peanut Close. Mr. Peanut Close. Oh! Yeah, I'm sure his brother. Oh, okay. That's my good buddy. We grew up in the same village, man. Yes. That's one of our best and brightest that we produced for Festival, So, he's a gentleman 100% of the time. A really good guy. I realized the name. Small world. Very good. Long time. You see that? Brother John just keep, connecting people to each other. I'm good at doing that. The first program we had in this with Ms. Hadley was eye-opening. This one is I don't know what the adjective to use, groundbreaking. It was just taking us into a whole new and giving me a sort of deeper understanding of that. I'm going to try, to do some more reading on it and try to better inform myself. But I'm going to close just by sort of just asking a question. What do you think, because I'm particularly interested, not that I don't care about what happens in the rest of the world, but I'm particularly interested in what happens in our neck of the woods. And the idea of having Black and brown girls still being victimized in 2021 personally deeply offends me, given our history of slavery and
and exploitation and all these things. So what do you think that we can do, an ordinary person like me, what can we do either as an individual or collectively to begin to stem this disease? Because I don't want to put it just as a disease, it's a disease, a social disease, but it's also a crime. What can we do to begin to fight back, basically, to fight back against traffickers?
Well, that's a very good question. What I would say is that, first of all, we have to educate our children and speak to our children. Okay, we need to speak to the children, and we need to have what is called perception. We need to market this whole idea of human trafficking, because it's so easy. You see, because the human traffickers. First of all, they get you by trying to be in love with you, or they through a romance. They get you there, and then they up it by making you become victim and doing things that you're not comfortable with. So if a guy, it starts with a guy, you're educating your girlchildren, and also if a guy wants you to do things that you're not comfortable with, okay, as a woman, you have to put your foot down and say no. And you have to tell people about it. You have to discuss it in the communities, in the churches, in the schools. You have on the radio, on the television, have posters in the airport. In fact, we go to certain countries where human trafficking is in the airport. Sometimes you go to Grenada, I've never seen anything like that. I'm not saying that the government is a fault, but these are the things we have to get people more aware, and to sensitize them. Okay? Yeah. And also, we have to be proactive. We have to be proactive. We have to have the laws need to be strengthened. Okay, so for example, if I was, I'm not an advisor to government, but if I have to advise the government, I would say that here we should really put what is called a counter trafficking person unit. So it's just to inform people about it. In fact, today I was speaking to the head of the counter trafficking unit in St. Vincent. Okay, and they have a unit which is very active. And so we need to support and also we need what is called a database. So there's no centralized database of human trafficking. No. So if I'm a human trafficker in Grenada or in Trinidad, and I can go at will to go to Grenada, do my crap in Grenada, and nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
That should not be. So we should have the database, and that's why we need proper labor market intelligence, proper data.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
You know, I'm hoping that with initiatives like these, we can begin to see steps being taken, and based on the research that you have done and the reports that I expect would have been presented to the different governments, including ours here in Grenada, that we would begin to see some educational programs sensitizing people and raising awareness and educating people about the whole issue of human trafficking and its impact and who's involved and everything to do with it, so that people will know how to mitigate against becoming victims of human trafficking and so on. So at this point in time, we bring, it's coming up on 10:40 my time.
Yeah.
We bring the program for this evening to a close, with final words from our eminent Brother John Caliste, and I want to say thank you to you, Dr. Justine, for Brother John, for him arranging that session with you and, affording me the opportunity to be able to, to host a program of that nature with you. And thank you to Ms. Headley for once again being here on the Talking Point program, speaking on that issue. Good evening and all the best to you. And also to our viewers and listeners, I expect, based on some of the comments in the short box, I realize that some of you have come away from here very edified. And remember, this is going to be online and it will be shared extensively as possible. So you too share it and let's help to raise the awareness. Brother John?
Yes. All right. Good night again to each and every one of you here. I really appreciate Ms. Headley and Dr. Justine coming here tonight. And I can't say enough thanks to you, Pablo and Delbert, for helping me to facilitate this session. Most definitely, I have been enlightened. And you know, our motto is education is liberation. And I think most people tonight have been liberated and educated on the subject of human trafficking and prostitution. And I hope that Ms. Headley and Dr. Pierre will link up and probably have their own session on the midday show every Monday from 12 o'clock. You're going to probably continue this session there and create more awareness on Mondays. So you could probably join together and have a session on Mondays and doing their show. And make the awareness happen. Let's start pushing it more often and let the people know about it so they'll be more vigilant and to pay attention to the communities around them and see what happened and how they could help defer people from getting involved in that activity. Because I have two daughters of my own and I'm start thinking right now, you know, being very, very vigilant. You say something? Go ahead.
Yes. I just want to say that this whole idea, when we published the report, this whole idea brought a lot of focus on the Caribbean, because over the last couple of months, I've had interviewed with CNN, I've been interviewed with the Associated Press, and many of the international newspapers who never knew that the incidence of human trafficking was so prevalent in the Caribbean region.
Right.
And when persons heard about the article,
right.
Why would the Caribbean have one of the largest brothels in the world? People are thinking, that's not true. So when they realize, that's true.
It's some of the things that Ms. Headley speak of. I mean, she's been doubted, that that's happening because she's just a one-man mission there, and people saying, you haven't heard about it. And not because you haven't heard about it, it's not happening, it's happening. So it's, I'm very particular. I remember talking to my daughter about having to meet with pastors and teachers, by herself. If they can't accommodate me or her mom or there's any person that we want to, there's no meeting. It's not going to happen, So, because these are the influential people. So we have to be very, very careful who we allow to influence our children after the classroom session is finished, the churches, wherever it is, we have to be very vigilant. And because you mentioned earlier, Doctor, that people who never have no criminal records are involved in the business. And that alone, again, make me think, probably the guy next door in the shop who has a business, he may not be seen as a trafficker, but probably that's what he does in the back end, His tool is up front. So, again, those things have me now thinking really, really wide. Somebody could befriend my 18-year-old daughter when she goes to the store. And I start thinking now, and not getting scary, but getting more concerned, of allowing our daughters to be exposed, our sons to be exposed to the society where these predators are, and they're looking in the dark, even the light for children. And it kind of blew my mind when you talk about they don't want children without pubic hair, they want you without pubic hair. I'm talking about, I have a 4-year-old. I'm scared. Yeah. It bothers me now. Think that those people are not, they're not even thinking clearly now. They want to have their own way. I'm so happy that we taken this opportunity to do this show, that people will get more educated on this subject. And we'll keep on doing it. We hope that we get sponsorship for those shows and get people to help us to be able to do the show on a more regular, consistent basis. So we could do it more and more often and help do the posters and the flyers and stuff in their communities. Make it happen. Make people be aware of it. And I really, really want to push this. Because not only can I have daughters, but I have nieces, I have nephews, and we know good friends who have young children, young girls too. That we need to educate them. We need to bring these things to the forefront. We can't keep it under the table anymore. And I just want to thank you, Doctor, and Juanita Headley, for taking this opportunity to come on here. And again, when I heard wanted for the very first time. I offered her a show to do her own show to bring awareness every Monday from 12.